Hi, we're at Itron Utility Week, and one of the things we wanted to capture is that there are a lot of live demos dotted around, and you may or may not have seen some of these as well. But this one's great, it's quite visual, and I'm holding these, it'll become apparent in a second as to why I'm holding them. And we're joined by Alex, who's going to guide us through the demo. And this thing up here is a street light. And let me put one of these on, and I'll let Alex tell the story. So these are glacier glasses.
Glacier glasses,
exactly.
The kind of thing that you need.
Yeah,
if you're going to be close
so this is a nice link to this morning's session, right? I could be using these, traveling across the Antarctic and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's whack this thing on. Let's see what happens.
So, this is going to be a command that we're sending over the OpenWay Riva network to command the street light to go to 100%. In some cases, we won't ever want it to be 100%. We may want it at 50%. But this gives you the idea of what you can do with a really brilliant street light, in addition to just...
And it also shows you how silly you can look with glasses in a...
There you go. That's perfect.
So these are really bright. These are really bright. Now, Alex, one of the things when you gave us this demo earlier on, you were also saying that, okay, well, it's the fact that they're so bright isn't really the point. The point is what you can do with it, which is everything that happens here. So tell us some of those stories.
Okay, so what we're demonstrating here is that OpenWay Riva supports this command and control capability with streetlights, so that you can tell a streetlight to output at any value that you'd like. That value of output is directly related to how much energy the streetlight consumes. And that's a fundamental value proposition. If we can dim the streetlights, we're saving energy. If we can measure the streetlight energy consumption, we're confirming that that dimming is actually offering some additional value. So what we have in our demonstration is a picture of Spokane, where we have currently a pilot program ongoing. And these are the streetlights in downtown Spokane. And you can then create whatever kind of rule you'd like for a dimming template and say, during the weekdays, from this time to this time, what intensity do you want for that particular light? And you can apply that then across a number of different lights and dim those. So that just those two things, having the electric meter in the street light and having the ability to computer drive the output, so that you can control that output, gives us tons of new use cases. One of these use cases simply will calculate out what the savings are based on that dimming template. It gets a little bit more complicated in that you have to illuminate intersections, for example, that are regulatory based or that are policy based by the utility to say, if there are pedestrians over there, we do not want to dim those, so we exclude those. So another application that we can do with a dimming template is demand response. If we get a message from generation, for example, that says we need additional energy, we can say based on a template what is regulatory compliant and a new dimming value and how much energy we can release back to the grid. So we offer some
and I would imagine if you then scale this up, just even 0.5% of dimming has a big number attached to it,
Sure.
Right?
So in Chicago, there's over 320,000 streetlights. We save a watt, that's 300,000 watts of power. So it scales up really large. In other communities, it could be 500,000 streetlights. It does make a big difference, especially over time. So because we have the ability to do multiple kinds of templates, we want to empower those people that are creating and designing these templates to use open data, like crime data, to be able to say, in certain areas of the town, maybe we want those lights to be very, very bright because we want to deter crime. In another template, we may actually want to have a real-time notification from dispatch of public safety that says, in this area we think there's a crime going on, so we'll raise the lighting there, bring eyes from the community to that area, and it's been shown in South Korea, for example, in a study, 20% reduction in crime just by modulating streetlights. So there are practical aspects that touch people's lives every day that can happen because you have computer-controlled streetlights.
And the other thing that's coming into play as well are these things, right? So these are LEDs, right. And when you had them on at full, I could still touch this, right? There's very little heat coming off this.
Very efficient.
And then what you were saying is that, just because they can go to whatever the 100% lumen output was, doesn't mean you have to run them with that. So it might cost you a bit more, but the lifetime value is what, on par, lower? How does that work?
So how these compare, the most popular light in the US is a high pressure sodium light. They have a lifespan of around 3 years. An LED light has a lifespan of about 20 years. The efficiency of an LED light, because it doesn't convert much energy to heat, is about 60% better. So you get a bottom line benefit of about 60% energy saving just transitioning to LEDs. That's not considering dimming. Now, if you buy an LED luminaire that has as much light as you want and an additional amount, you could dim that further, still have the same amount of illumination, right? But what you're getting is a bulb lifespan that's 25 years, so instead of 3 years. So this goes to the operational expense of replacing bulbs, and it saves money that way too.
And then overlaying that with all these other use cases, it is, there are a lot of possibilities here. And
tons of possibilities.
Yeah.
Some of the things that are far out there, I'm in Idea Labs, so we talk about unique cases, like if an event is over and they want to raise the lights around that, we can do something like that. If the utility or city wants to engage with the public and talk about things that we talked about before, a romance street light, a place to meet street light, different uses for the illumination of the city, the sky's the limit. Because of OpenWay Riva, because you can develop these applications in open space, it means third-party developers can get in there, work with the cities, and create these novel applications that are of value to specific locations.
And that's perfect. Alex, on that note, we'll leave it. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you as well for watching. And just wanted to bring to life some of these, people like Alex have taken great care to build these demos. I think it'd be a travesty to not show it. I hope you enjoyed watching it.